Attorney General Eric Holder is in the middle of a new firestorm tonight. Already there are calls for Attorney General Holder to be fired over the Fast and Furious scandal. And now he's taking some heat for taking a Caribbean trip on the taxpayer's dime. Well, is the trip a junket or is it work? Jonathan Strong from Roll Call joins us. Good evening, Jonathan.
How are you?
Okay, so where is the Attorney General? What's he doing?
He went to Trinidad, Barbados, and Puerto Rico. And the reason that he went there is there was a big crime and a crime summit there. He met with
where? I mean, there are like several places you named. I take it the crime summit was at one place.
That's correct. But he met with the heads of state of each country and with 8 attorneys general while he was there as well. And the kind of region is a place where drugs come into the United States. There's a kind of toxic mix of loose enforcement there, as well as bank secrecy laws that allow money laundering. This is the stated reason for why he's there. Now, if you turn around and you look, okay, your department is in the midst of a huge congressional investigation. There are 51 members of Congress calling for you to resign. Was this really the time to spend an entire work week in that location, which is known as a tropical paradise? The trip was on the calendar for a long time. The last 2 attorneys generals went to the same crime summit as this.
You know, I was thinking about it. You know, when I first heard about it, I thought it sounded horrible. It just sounded horrible. But I've also been down in that area, and there's also, in addition to the drug trafficking as a corridor, there's a human trafficking. There's an awful lot of horrible things that can be. Women are trafficked through that area, and I know that it's. I suspect. I mean, since if he's not down there with his wife on a cruise ship, right? He's traveling
right
with his staff, right?
There were 3 staffers there. They stayed in chain hotels. Supposedly it was not, luxurious accommodations. They were not able to provide me an estimate of the costs. All
right, because I will tell you from my own experience there that they love to have someone important from the United States come down there, like the Attorney General. And it is, I've dealt with the Aruban government, law enforcement there, to the extent that we can get any level of cooperation from them is huge because there are drugs and so many problems there. So, I think it looks like a great juicy story where everyone's horrified and scandalized, but if you dig a little bit deeper, if he's not there with his wife, if he's there with staff, going to a conference, seeing, his laterals in those governments, I understand that it appears like it's a lark, but...
I mean, I think the timing was bad, but there's exonerating context for him.
Yes, indeed there's. But this is planned for a long time, you said?
I was told that it had been on the calendar for months.
But is Congress jumping all over him about this yet?
Well, I mean, Congress is jumping all over him for all sorts of reasons that all center around this Fast and Furious controversy that's going on. And that is really at the heart of why Attorney General Holder is on the hot seat.
And of course, if he didn't go, they'd probably say that he was supposed to go someplace, can't do his job, didn't do his job, he let all these countries down. I mean, I think he's, I don't know what's going to happen with him on Fast and Furious, but this other thing may not be quite as whatever it says.
Yeah, I mean, Holder, so far we've seen, about 9 weekly update memos that went to his office, and he said in a congressional hearing that he didn't actually read those memos, and they only mentioned Fast and Furious by name.
That's Fast and Furious. That's another story, though, right?
That's right.
That's Fast. Jonathan, thank you.